Well, again, kind of early in the career, Tom had mentioned, Ivan Koloff, Don Kernodle. I know you traveled the roads with them. I've read that you guys would travel as much as 2,000 to 2,500 miles a week. Um, when you had your incredible face turn with Dusty Rhodes and the Superpowers, I believe you guys traveled up and down the roads as well. My question, do you have any good road stories with any of those groups of guys that you spent so much, I'm sure, quality time with?
Well, yeah, we did. We did certainly in those early days spend a lot of time in the car. Before we went on the Superstation on TBS, we basically drove everywhere. Well, we did. We didn't fly anywhere. It wasn't until going on the Superstation and then Crockett deciding to expand, into Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, the Meadowlands, or wherever else, Chicago, wherever else we went, that we started flying. And so, I look back, I guess, with Ivan and Don, it was, and I do give them, as you made mention, so much credit to the early success that I had, because even though we didn't get to the town early that first night of my debut, for the next 2 or 3 months, we would get to the town early, 2 or 3 hours early. And they would bump and thump all over the ring, teaching me the mechanics, old school mechanics of wrestling. And then I'd have a very short single match. Uncle Ivan Koloff. He would sit in my corner. They were the world tag champs. I'd sit in their corner, watch their match. And then on the drive home every night, we talk about the old school psychology of wrestling. And so many of those road trips were kind of filled with that, just filling me in on and learning the ropes of wrestling, if you will, the art of wrestling. And with Ivan and Don, that was many, many nights. One of the best stories, a quick story, would be just recently we celebrated a 4th of July celebration, right? The birth of this great nation. We were driving back from somewhere. I don't remember where. It was early. It was that first year, that rookie year. And I'm in the back seat. Don Kernodle's driving. Uncle Ivan's in the passenger. He's riding shotgun. And we get pulled over by one of South Carolina's finest. And Kernodle's all nervous. He's like, Nikita, man, don't turn around. Don't look back. Don't say a word. I don't know what he thought I was going to do, get out and beat up the trooper or what, but he's like, just, I'm like, yeah, fine. So he gets out. In those days, you get out of the car, right? He gets out, he goes to the back of the car. So I can hear the conversation. And he's like talking to the trooper. And then I hear this. I hear, officer, surely on the celebration of the birth of this great nation, you're not going to get the pride of the USA a speeding ticket, And I go, are you kidding me? And he's on one knee, like with his hands up in the air, looking up at the officer. And I had to turn around. And then the rest of the shorter version of the rest of that story, he doesn't give a speeding ticket, but he ends up saying, hey, who else you got in the car with you there? And in the meantime, 3 or 4 other trooper cars pull up, and it becomes a fan fest way before they were ever popular. And they're looking at the world tag belts, and we're signing stuff, and no speeding ticket for Kernodle. So that's one memorable story about one of our road trips from the pride of the USA, Don Kernodle. Dusty and I, man, we just had wonderful conversations, just building a friendship and building a lasting, loving relationship with each other that I cherish those moments to this day, riding in that convertible 2-seater red Mercedes of his. So I'll just got to stop there because I know you got a lot of questions you want to ask.